All of the content contained in this webcast is for informational purposes only. The investments and strategies contained in this webcast may not be suitable for you. Please consult your own independent financial advisor before making any investment or trading decisions. Welcome back, traders. Second portion of our show, market movers, and we got some food for thought.
Food for thought here, Joel. It's Food Friday. Heinz reporting earnings, Campbell's reporting earnings, and GIS lowering guidance. Let's start with Heinz here, Joel. They beat on their bottom line here, and the stock has got a nice lift in the pre-market. Trade as high as 54 bucks. It's now trading 53.40, which is a good lift for this stock. If it goes into rally mode for whatever reason, I'd look at that pre-market high of 54 as initial resistance, and the 52-week high of 55 bucks is major resistance. So as get up there, you might get a decent opportunity to get a short off. What do you think there, Joel?
Yeah, Dennis, I see that the resistance has moved down in the pre-market from 54 to 53.75. So that, of course, that will be some stopping points. Looking at this thing and the way it trades and the daily volume and the way this thing grinds, Dennis, you almost got to think that it's open high. So I'd use, the first 10-minute range or 15-minute range on this thing to see if it breaks out. If it opens up higher, goes down for 15 minutes and pops, and then breaks back down, I think you could see a little bit of a sell-off. After it hit that 54 level, we've been hugging this 53.50 area, so that could be your first resistance point.
Campbell Soup reported earnings as well. Joel stock is trading up a little bit here, not as much as the Heinz, but up 32.5. It's trading right now after closing at 32.06. Best offers up at 32.75. We go back here just in the last little while. If we go actually back to the beginning of January, you had a couple of highs at 32.50 and then 32.60. For 4 days in a row there, we were topping. I call that whole area 32.5. It looks like that's where it may open here, is in that area. If it does, look at those highs as possible resistance points. If it's to take off and go above there, it starts to open up a bit. We kind of sliced on that way down right through that 33. So I think 33.5 is major resistance. Not sure if the 33 is going to have much there.
Right. Here, Dennis. I saw those four highs back in January. It's opened up there. It's initial resistance. That also coincides with the activity in the pre-market. So use that 32.60 area as a swing number. If we do come back into sell-off mode, you have yesterday's high at 32.25 as support, and the two-day high at 32. So good support all the way down to 32 in Campbell's Soup. That's good.
GIS here, Joel. So not all the food stocks having a good day here. General Mills trading down significantly on their report, or not on their earnings report, but on their guidance. They came out with guidance, lowered guidance. 39.78 is where it's closed. It's trading at 38.52. That's a pretty big move for General Mills. The stock typically has a 30, 40, 50 cent range. Looks like it's gonna open out down over $1.30. Trading is low here, Joe. I'm trying to find it here. I've got it trading down in the $38 even. That's
Yep.
that's a significant level there, Joel. If we go back into November, and mostly November, we had 1, 2, 3 spotty lows right in that 38 area. If we go down that, I think you'll find some pretty decent support there. What do you think on GIS?
Yeah, I mean, this 38.50 kind of sticks out like a sore thumb too. That was the low back in December. Was the impetus for a rise up to this 41 area. So I agree with you here, Dennis. 38.5 looks like good support here, good stopping point. And if that doesn't hold, then 38's going to hold. Coming back on the upside, after we did bounce off that 38, we've hit 38.60. So that's your minor resistance. And of course, you got a long way to travel to fill the gap up to 39.51.
Gilead, G-I-L-D, Gilead Sciences is down significantly here, Joel. They had some trials from their hepatitis C drug. They weren't the results that they're getting are not good, and the stock is trading down over $9 this morning. Huge move for this company. It's got a huge market cap, so it's knocking off a big chunk of it there this morning when it's down 17%. When I was looking at this chart, obviously we've been on a run up here for the last all of 2012 pretty much. The stock has come from this $40 area all the way up to $56.50 there just, I think, a couple weeks ago. It's going to give back about 2/3 of that, it looks like, off the hop here. If it decides to give back the whole thing, well, $40 looks like, where it could end up going eventually.
Well, Dennis, we've talked about it several times on this show. Live by the sword, die by the sword. And here at the stock, the trial's not good. People are puking. I'm looking at the pre-market activity. We did get down to 41.82.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't see it getting there in the pre-market, Dennis. It really now is consolidating in the $45 level. Going to look at the charts here. Big number back in mid-January before the gap up.
Yep.
So if it goes into sell-off mode, I'd take a look at 44, and then of course 42 coincides with the pre-market low. Coming back on the upside after we've hit 46, so I would use that as resistance. If we pop above 46, Dennis, it's wide open here, maybe up to 50, but stock's under some pressure.
Yeah, for sure. Baidu reported earnings last night, Joel. BIDU, the symbol on that one. Maybe Joel can get the after-hours high, because I remember this thing trading up to 147, I think, area. And then it turned around and rolled over, and now it's actually trading down. So it's actually down $1.30 here at 140.52. Yesterday's low 137.55 might give you some support. There's a trend line there too you could draw. Bottom of that trend line probably in the 132, 133 area just in the last month there. I'm looking at that up run there, Joel. But do you have the after hours high there on Baidu from last night?
Yeah, 148.50.
148.50.
Yeah.
So obviously whoever's buying it early, I guess, got it wrong because stock's pulling back now. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it traded a couple 100,000 shares too, Dennis. I mean, there's no chicken feed there. After it hit that 148.50, we've come down and we've hit a low at 139.52. So I'd keep an eye on that area, 139.52. If in fact it can't hold at 139.52, you got a double bottom here in the 137.38 to 137.55 area. So that'd be major support. After getting down under 140, the recovery rally took us up to about 145. So I'd call that your next stopping point. And if you ignore all the pre-market stuff and you just look at this stock just on its basis of his intraday trading, boy, 142.40 is a couple 40, 49, 36, and 22 were three consecutive highs. So that will be a big level as well.
JWN reported earnings last night, Joel. Stock was selling off last night. Maybe you can get the after hours low there from last night. I remember it down being over $1. Trading 51.50 right now, so not quite down as far as it was. The stock had a heck of a run up into the earnings report yesterday, being up over $1.18 after closing at 52.18 last night. It's now trading 51.40. Yesterday's low was 50.93, so maybe use that as your initial resistance. What do you? What was the after hours low there from last night, Joel?
50.05.
$50.05. So obviously $50. Call it. That's going to be a big number there too, Joel. What's your technical on this?
Yep, I agree that that 50. Just looking at the dailies was a big number. After it did hit that, it bounced up to the $52 area. So I'd be looking to find that 52 as resistance. That coincides nicely with yesterday's high at 52.32. So I think you're going to see resistance from 52 all the way up to that 52.32 area. coming back. If we go into the sell-off mode, you got mild support at the 50.93, which was yesterday's level. But if we really go into sell-off mode, we'll see if we can test that $50 level again.
Well, it's options expiration here today, Joel, so you got to keep that in mind. There's going to be some extra volatility here off the open. I'm actually looking at the opening imbalances that I'm seeing right now. These are very early, very preliminary, but they are all buy imbalances, and they are all very, very large. That would indicate that this market may actually start to move up a little bit further. We're up to just over 2.5 points here on the SPOOs. If those imbalances do hold and these stocks open where they look like they could, I think the market's going to probably move up here in the next 45 minutes and drift up. It could be one of those where the stocks open up too high relative to the overall market and offer a little bit of statistical arbitrage opportunities for some of those traders who are like to play the stocks versus the index itself. But it's hard to say. It's so early yet. 45 minutes, those imbalances will change quite a bit. So if you do have an imbalance feed, you may want to keep an eye on those. But just be aware there's going to be some extra volatility out there this morning, and some of these stocks might have some funny opens. And that might offer an opportunity to some of our listeners.
Okay, all right. Well, that's our wrap for today, folks. We'll be back with you on Tuesday.